Hello, good to see you. Pastor Sam with a reflection for May 7th. We're going to be talking today about creating versus consuming, and most particularly in the area of music. So, what kind of spurred this was actually my whole family. It was kind of a nice treat. This past Monday, went to a concert of our high school chamber choir, and congratulations to all of those students. We actually have, I think, four of our students are in that chamber choir. So quite a high, Faith has quite a high percentage of students in there. Congratulations, they had an excellent choir. But anyway, what sort of, that's the catalyst for this reflection. And so before I even get into it, I'm going to tell you where we're going with it. An invitation to all of you. I've got my handy little sheet here to keep me on track. Anyway, inviting you, urging you, recommending to you to go and listen to both our high school and our middle school choir and band perform, create music. That's kind of what we'll be talking about today, but I want to lay it out straight away as I'll finish with this too. So if you're watching this in the future, sorry friend, you're out of luck. Greetings from the past. There'll be more concerts. But anyway, May 10th, that's this coming Monday at 7 o'clock, is our high school choir. May 11th, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock, we have our middle school choir and band. And we do actually have, again, not quite as high percentage, but quite a few of our students are in, especially the band. Probably some in the choir too, but definitely in the band. And then, unfortunately, I can't recommend this one. The high school band is performing on Ascension Day while we have worship here at church. So come listen to us at church next Thursday, or this coming Thursday at 7 o'clock. But if you're going to, I need to be careful how I do this because we do have students in the high school band. It's just an unfortunate coincidence. If you aren't going to come to worship, then by all means come and support our students as they play music. That's about as gentle as I can be on that. Anyway, what I want to talk about is kind of broadly creating as opposed to consuming. And for this reflection, especially in the area of music. Now, it's all too easy. I've got my idiot box right here. It's all too easy to pull up your idiot box and press play and have music right there for you, professionally created, good sounding music. It's all too easy. I carry this idiot box with me wherever I go. See, look at that, pictures of my children. It's always there at my side, and I, at least in theory, have access to music all day, every day. Wherever I go, hundreds of different genres, thousands of artists, millions of songs, anything that my heart desires. But, don't do that. That's the long and the short of it. What I want to talk a little bit about first is the idea of creating. The idea and the benefit of creating, the dangers of consuming, and then we'll end with some ways that you can support the creation of music. So first of all, creating broadly. Now this could be, again, we're kind of focusing upon music here, but I consider myself to be an amateur woodworker. So I create wooden things, right? Maybe you have, maybe you're a seamstress, some kind of sewer, and you create quilts, blankets, whatever. Perhaps you're a painter or a sculptor. Lots of different things. Maybe you are a lawn artist and you create landscapes, right? All of these different acts of creation, making a thing. Now, what we're going to focus on here is the creation of music. And what I really like about music particularly, I'm going to say something that's very, very carefully, very carefully I'm going to say this. Music is the most God-like act of creation. Here's what I mean by that. When we talk about creation in the Genesis 1 and 2 context, God surely creates stuff from nothing. There was nothing there, and God made stuff there, and then he made more stuff there. God alone truly creates something from nothing. There was nothing there, and then boom, he said the words, and all of a sudden there was stuff. Now, on a physical level, on a physics full level, music, of course, creates something from something. There is the bodily structure which la creates the force of sound waves. There are the molecules in the air which carry those sound waves out. So physically speaking, of course, no one creates something from nothing. That's not how we work. But when I say that music is the most God-like, it's because it creates something without especially using a raw material. And here's the contrast. When I make something out of wood, I take a board and I cut the board or do different things and nail stuff together or screw stuff together and paint it or stain it or whatever. I'm taking all of those raw materials and sort of transforming them. It's more properly called transforming and not especially creating, although I would consider it to be creating. If you are a painter, the same sort of thing is true. You have some sort of canvas or paper or whatever. You have paints or watercolors or crayons, and you're more transforming those raw materials into some work of art. Now, again, music kind of follows along in that. I guess you're technically transforming the more or less stationary air molecules into vibrating molecules that carry the sound. I recognize that. I understand that. However, there's not really that. I don't, and here's where you and I can disagree. I don't really consider that to be a raw material, that you're taking sound waves and transforming them into a thing. Music is the most godlike in its creation because you can consider the emptiness of the air to be filled with music. And not that being God is the goal of music, but just the appreciation that we ought to carry, especially for those who create music, should be very high. For those who play an instrument, for those who create music with their voices, right? This is the most godlike thing. They're still taking something and transforming it into something else, as in any creative art. But music to me is the highest form. The highest form. They're filling a space and then it's gone. Right? If you had come, now again, that concert that I went to last Monday, if you came a little bit too late, our students were done, and that was it. And the air returned to its normal empty state. If you were late to the concert, you just missed it. Versus, if I make a thing out of wood, you can come and see the things that I've made. If you make a drawing, or if you create some kind of blanket or quilt, those objects still remain. But music is different in the sense, if you miss that performance, that's it. I'm going to check my note card and see how I'm doing. Okay, and then another kind of related feature that I want to talk about is creation as sort of an outpouring of self. As a way to express self, as a way to express maybe what you are thinking, how you are feeling, what sort of person you are. There's lots of different types of music, like I said in the introduction. There's lots of different songs that you can be singing to express these different things. But no matter which song you pick, it will still be sung in your particular tone. And your performance, if I can call it that, your creation of music will be utterly unique to yourself. No other human being on earth, past, present, or future, will be able to recreate that act of, see, even there, recreate, will be able to recreate that act of creation which you have accomplished in music. Now, as a contrast to this, the creation of music, there is the consumption of music, which usually comes through our idiot boxes. I usually call my TV my idiot box, but I like extending that to my phone too. I think I might keep that. through our idiot boxes. Now, I'm not calling you an idiot. I'm calling this device an idiot box. There we go. I'll be very careful. You're fine, friend. But this device allows unhelpful and unhealthy behaviors to flourish. I'll make that blanket statement and throw it out with absolutely no support whatsoever, except in the area of music. Now, what becomes unhelpful in the creation of music is that we have real music. We have professional musicians who make their living making music. And you can listen to that individual, that group, whatever, who has made actual real music for $1 or $2. I don't actually know. I'll be honest. I don't listen to music on my idiot box. I do lots of other unhelpful, unhealthy things on my idiot box, but I do not listen to music. So I'll throw that out there. That's my bias when I approach this. But anyway, there are thousands of different artists, and you can pay whatever it costs to buy a piece of music, and you can have that music at the touch of a button. Now, although this seems like a wonderful thing, there are some drawbacks to it. And again, that's kind of where these reflections come in. It's to raise awareness of the choices we make, and so that you are better able to make those choices. If you want to, since I'm already this far deep, I'm going to keep going. If you want to use your idiot box to continue bringing you music, that is absolutely fine. You are able to make that choice. You and I can still be friends. We can still have conversations about these and other things. That is totally fine. What I want to do is to raise awareness of the cost that you paid. Not just the couple of bucks that it costs you to have that song, but the internal mental and physiological changes which occur that impoverish you. That's what these reflections are broadly for. So I'm going to consult my little cheat sheet here to make sure I've got it. The playing of music and the listening of music, especially on the idiot box, is a very passive thing. And now what I want you to consider, and the reason why I will eventually promote attending performances, I want you to think about a song that you have heard live in concert, and then that same song that you have heard on your box. I feel like I'm pretty called it an idiot box enough. So anyway, I want you to think about a song you've heard live in concert that the artist has performed live and you've been there. That experience contrasted with the last time that you played it on the box. Now consider yourself in each of those. And I have attended a few concerts, so I don't speak from an utterly impoverished position, but I am not much of a concert goer, so consider that in this reflection. When I attended the concert, even though I was listening to music being created, there was at least part of me that was still active. I was standing up on my feet. I was singing along with them. I was part of the entire experience. Now, to be sure, no one had a microphone on me. Nobody cared to listen to how I sang the song. They were all there to listen to the artist singing the song. But I was still part of that overall experience. I was part of the act of the creation of music. I was on my feet. I was energized. I was part of it. Versus, how often do you fire up a piece of music on the box and just sit there? Or mow the lawn, or whatever. I don't know what you do while you listen to music. It's a much more passive thing. It's more perhaps having it there to fill silence, as opposed to wanting to engage yourself in the creation of music. And that's some of the danger that comes in. Since we have this professionally created quality music, it deforms our definition of what music is. If I walk to church here and I'm singing a song, is that music? I suppose so in the strictest sense, but if I'm walking down the sidewalk and somebody walks past me and I'm singing, they maybe have a different definition of that thing that I am creating as opposed to what I do. And that's really, that I think is the core of the issue, is we tend to more and more consider music what we pay the, I don't know, dollar or two or whatever on our idiot box. That's music. And the thing that I create when I sing, that's not really music. I'm not a professional musician. I'm not a professional musician. I'm very upfront about that. I have mediocre singing. I have absolutely no instrument playing. Like, I am not a musician by any stretch. But even though I've just said that about myself, I have the capacity to create music. Now, the danger comes in, you would probably not completely agree with that assessment. At least not in the same context as the thousands of artists on the Idiot Box have already created music. We tend to think that what they have done is music, and we, by comparison, are not able to create the same level of polish and sophistication and whatever adjectives you want to throw in there. And so whenever we create music, it fails the comparison. Why would I sing a song when I can fire up Name Your Artist on the Idiot Box and have them create music for me? It changes our definition of what music is to the impoverishment of yourself. Notice that by relying upon the artists on here, you are unable to create music. You have actually actively removed your own capacity to create music by relying upon the artists on the Idiot Box. You are impoverishing yourself. Now, if that's something that you're fine and dandy with, then that's great. That's what these reflections are for. If that's a price you're willing to pay, then by all means, go ahead. I'm not saying listening to music on here is evil or bad or wicked or will send you to hell. No. I'm not making any claims like that. My claim is, and my problem is, what it does to you and what I have not allowed it to do to me. That's what I want to present in all of this. Good. I've gotten through all of my dangers. I feel like I've called my phone by its derisive name enough that hopefully you will present a degree of wariness next time you fire up iTunes. I don't even know what people use to play music. Pandora, whatever. Anyway, again, what can we do? What can we do? Well, I certainly don't. I'm not out to change the music industry by any stretch. I don't have delusions of grandeur that I'm going to overthrow this billion-dollar, trillion-dollar, I don't even know what sort of industry it might be. Not my aim in the slightest. The professional musicians can go on creating their music. That's totally fine with me. I am concerned with you. I'm concerned with you who are here, who are listening to this, and I want you to retain your ability to create. If that's already been destroyed, maybe you're past the point of no return and you have no capacity to create whatsoever, in which case that's okay. You and I can still be friends, and I will still see you after the resurrection, right? This is not a matter of salvation by any means. But for those of you who have not yet jumped into the chasm, who still have some capacity to create, I want to encourage you to support those who create music. I want you to listen to our Faith Lutheran students in the high school choir, in the middle school choir and band. I want you to support them in their creation of music. Show them that creating music is important, that this is not our sole definition of music. Support their creation. Next Monday, 7 o'clock, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock, both in the Riggs Auditorium. I'll be there. I hope that you will too. We want to be able to create. And the tragedy is our removal of our own ability to create. If someone would come in and, this is going to sound really violent, cut out my vocal cords, right? Okay, I can't create music anymore. But that's been an outside thing. If I do this action upon myself, then that's despairful. That I have impoverished myself is a detrimental price, one that I'm not willing to pay, one that perhaps you are. And again, that's what this reflection is for. Not commanding you in what you should do, but peeling back the veil, showing you the dangers in firing up the good old idiot box and having someone perform professional quality music for you, what that does to you as an individual, and especially what it does to your capacity to create. Not just music, but your capacities shrink and shrink and shrink until you're unable to do anything for yourself. Again, that's a discussion for another time, and whether we've reached that point already and what can be done, those are all conversations to have. What you need to worry about is freeing up your schedule next Monday and Tuesday. Come on out, support our... We Faith Lutheran have high school students and middle school students who will be there, who will be creating music, and I would love to see you supporting them in this wonderful thing that they have endeavored to do. Regardless of what you do, whether you continue to fire up Pandora or whatever, that's the only one I know, or iTunes, and listen to music, we can still be friends. That's okay. I hope that you will support the creation of music. I hope that you will create music yourself. God's peace be with you, and I'll see you next time.